that what they were saying to you wasn't true. Now, some of y'all may have played along with what was going on in your life before you started being a little more serious about who has access to your network or your insights or your talents or your time or your energy. Now, you may have been a person who was always disciplined when it came to like who you had around you, but some of you may have been you may have gone through a nice phase where you kind of just wanted to explore um who you should have around you, and being the type of person you are, you became extremely well liked and there was always someone to hang out with. And for most of you may still have a lot of people to hang out with. I'm sure for a lot of you, if you called at least 8 friends right now, at least 7 out of those 8 friends would either ask you to hang out or just want to talk or hang out at some point in the future, or they might even be like, hey, I want to come hang out with you today. Would you be interested? Most of you are like that. And you've now realized that, well, some of y'all realized this a long time ago, but some of y'all are becoming more confident in the fact that you know that certain people, even though they may claim to be a friend, that they have other dreams, or maybe they have no dream. Maybe they just working a 9 to 5 and they have no sense of direction outside of that 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Some people um you realize can also be hindering them their own growth because of the path that they continue to be on. Now, we definitely are not against having a 9 to 5, but a lot of y'all are realizing that you are what the organization needs to thrive. If an organization wants to thrive, wants to be the best organization that it could possibly be and maintain that status, you have realized you are the person who is going to allow them to do that because of your association with the organization, because you chose to be with these people. And a lot of you after COVID will have realized that an organization is really nothing more than a group of individuals who have come together to do something. Most organizations, for most of the people in there, sometimes a lot of you would have realized that most of the people don't even believe in what the organization formally has set out to do. Some people are at 9 to 5 jobs, and you realize that they don't want to be there. They don't care what they're doing, and they are just pretending to do what they are being told to do. And who might be telling them what to do, that person may not even really care about what the organization has to offer at all. Some of them are just in the organization to feel like they are important or have power, and you realize that. The organization of the future, the organization of the new world, a lot of you have realized will do certain things. They will have certain systems in place. That organization of the new world will treat people in a certain way. a certain ilk of people will be in the New World organizations. And a lot of you are realizing that yes, an organization might be selling gold or claim to be selling gold, and in this case, the gold is metaphorical, but you will quickly realize that they are selling gold plated stuff, right? And a lot of you are realizing that you don't want to be associated with any organization that is selling gold plated. You want to be in the organization that has and is willing to give the real gold, 99% purity, for sure. And a lot of y'all are slowly realizing, slowly but surely, some of y'all are quicker to learn this. Some of y'all still have a little ways to go before you realize it, that you are the one enabling the beast to exist. Let me say that again. You are the one that is enabling the beast to exist. So, for a lot of people, they hate what they do. They live to literally just hop on a plane every 3 months or 5 months, go to a different part of the planet, take a few pictures, and come back and hate life again. And pre-COVID, a lot of people thought that that's all there was. But a lot of people figured out that this is not all there is. And there are a small group of people on the planet who really understand how the world works, not the socialist way of seeing the world, as in some corporations control everything and this is just how life is and life sucks. No, that is not how the world actually works, and a lot of you are figuring this out. Yes, there are definitely groups of individuals who are not known to the public eye, but have significant influence and power over how things go in societies in the world. But the majority are hanging on by a thread of survival, most of them, and the majority of organizations will not survive going forward because this new economy, this new world that we are seeing emerge, literally does not have space to accommodate the old world organizations. They both can coexist, but one is going to have to outlive the other. And there are organizations that will fight to the last to remain either sucking resources or pretending to give something that they literally know that they can't. And a lot of you are going to realize that a lot of organizations, if they were to actually conduct and take real-time data of what they're actually doing, they would realize that the organization is not what it sets out to be. And a lot of you are realizing that you don't want to be part of the old world organizations anymore. When you go in there, all you feel is heaviness. That's all you feel. Like you can feel it. It feels like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. It feels like you have the weight of the world on your consciousness. That's how it feels. And a lot of y'all have realized that this is a feeling, but I don't have to feel like this. You understand? And a lot of y'all some of y'all were forced to be out of the old world so you can see the new world, so you can be prepared for the new world. But others who may appear that their life is going grand on social media, any objective person who has traveled to different places and gone through the rigors of going through an airport and so on will know and can put themselves in the shoes of the person claiming to have a good life. You understand? It's not all that it seems. It really isn't that fun, to be honest. So why are you pretending? You know what I mean? A lot of y'all are asking the question, why are these people pretending that this is fun? Why are they broadcasting like this is something that other people should want to do? And you will realize, or you have already realized, that that's their purpose at this point in time. They don't have anything else to do. They can't join the new world, so their whole purpose is to uphold the old world and the old way of doing things. That's all they exist to do, and they get remunerated for doing that. So I guess a lot of y'all can't really blame them, but at the same time, you don't want to join them either. And when you see them pretending, you're just like, miss me with that BS. You know what I mean? We all see what we've all been there. You know what I mean? We all know what's going on. So for you all who know what's about to come, have been prepared, whether through formal education, you may have been exposed to what's to come. For those who just so happen to stumble upon something that opened their eyes on social media, maybe it could have been a video, or it could have been an article on the news or something, but you have realized that things are not all that they seem, and this thing that people are still clamoring to is almost slowly falling apart. It's just coming apart at the seams, and it's just no longer working. But people continue to make it like it just has to continue. You know what I mean? Because a lot of y'all are gonna realize that they don't know that there's an alternative yet. They have no idea. They won't be exposed to it, and even if God were trying to show it to them, they just are so distracted by what they're doing that they're not gonna take heed. They're not gonna wake up. They're just gonna do what they've been continuing to do, and some of them are gonna try to make it appear like this is what you should be doing, but you realize that it is not. So that's the advantage that you have that they don't have, and the transition has already begun to the new world. This transition has been underway pre-COVID. You know what I mean? So a lot of y'all are going to be very, very relieved that you're not in that position anymore. You are not with that old world company anymore, and you're gonna feel like a weight has been lifted off of you. And it is important that you use that newfound freedom of consciousness to really ask and meditate on, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be building? What am I supposed to be designing? And if I'm not supposed to be designing and building anything from a seed, so to speak, who am I supposed to be helping with? Who am I supposed to be partnering with so that I can help them build whatever it is that they're supposed to build? And that's going to be easy for some to get their mind around, and it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people. The main thing now is to not compromise the new world organizations with the ideology and culture of the old world organization. You don't want those things leaking into the new stuff. God will prepare you, as in a lot of y'all are realizing that God has prepared you. It's kind of like you're a blank slate. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you shed all of that baggage that you put on yourself, because we have to take responsibility. We put that on ourselves. You understand? So God would have taken you out of it, shed all that baggage that you put on yourself, and now you're just like a blank slate, or like a clean sheet of paper. You know what I mean? And now you have the ability to start to craft what you really are, what you're really supposed to be. And sometimes you're gonna be the one crafting how other people are gonna think and stuff like that. Some of you are gonna have to guide others to reach the level of consciousness that they need to be at. You know what I mean? And that's not gonna look like the conventional go to church. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to guide you to that. They have no idea. They're using an old book that was written in, I think it was Hebrew originally, and then translated to something else. And oh my gosh, it's just getting so complicated. And it's just like it's being used now. A lot of y'all are gonna realize that the Bible and stuff is actually being used by the devil now. Because that Bible, for most people, they aren't going to have the intelligence to be able to think about things if it was written in simple English. That thing is not written to be understood at face value. That thing is not, it's being used more as a distraction now than it is as a guide towards God now. And a lot of y'all are going to realize that um not that a lot of you are going to realize that it's not that Christianity has ever been bad, it's just the way that it's being used now, the people that are associated with it now. It's kind of like so saturated with all of these fakers that what is the point anymore? You know what I mean? So whereas a lot of y'all still like read the Bible and stuff like that, you could apply some of the stuff that you have been thinking of without it, and you will realize that you never needed the Bible. Everything that's written in the Bible was written by someone else because they got that wisdom from God. So a lot of y'all are gonna realize that you don't need to read the Bible. If you just have a relationship with God, God is gonna give you all the wisdom that is contained in there. A lot of people are going to realize that you had the wisdom already. You just ask God for it, and some of y'all may reread the Bible and be like, but look, I knew that already. I knew that already. I didn't need to read that. I already knew that. I already lived by that. A lot of y'all are like that. You're already living by what the Bible says. So someone else who has to literally study it, a lot of y'all are gonna be like, you actually had to study the Bible in order to live by it. I just lived by it naturally. I just did it by myself. Like, why do you need to study this thing? Why do you need to read this thing every day? Like, why? I don't understand. A lot of y'all are gonna be like that, and that is natural in this time, because a few of y'all are gonna be a lot faster than everybody else to catch on, to catch up, to catch on to what's really happening, and that speed is going to ruffle feathers. It's gonna make people jealous. It's gonna garner the wrong attention for some of y'all. But just know that once you hop on the new wave, the old wave can't touch you. The old wave done crash and gone already. Them can't do you nothing. You understand? There's nothing they could do. There's nothing they could say. There's no lie that they can tell that will stop you. You understand? Like, you on the new world, the new wave. You understand? This wave is this train, so to speak. You know what I mean? None that this train fast. You know, this train super fast, and if you miss it, you missed it. You understand? During this time, you all know what I'm talking about. If you miss that train, you can't get on board later on. You can't get on board. And the thing about the new world and the younger ones that understand their connection to God and stuff like that, they already know. A lot of y'all know that there were some mistakes made. That you understand of in the old way of doing things. There are lots of mistakes that were made. One mistake would be that you allow fakers and schemers to really understand what is going on. And that is what the Bible tried to do. It enabled everyone to fake or scheme or mimic, what is being written there, because you all know that once you know, you know. Once you have the wisdom, you have the wisdom. There's no book that could teach you the wisdom. There is no preacher that could teach you the wisdom. You have that connection, you have the connection, you have it. You will be smart, you will be intelligent, you will be articulate. It will just come naturally. For some of y'all, it might just happen overnight. You might just get it in a dream. And then you just start to talk to God and you start to download all of this information. But you had to have the access to download the information. And a lot of y'all know that some of y'all know you have the access. And a lot of you all know that that access is not something that you broadcast. You understand? It's not something that God even wants you to broadcast. Yeah, God wants to see, or some of you all to be seen shining and doing all the things that you all ever dreamed of doing, 100%. But God really doesn't want you bringing too much attention to this new wave before everybody that needs to hop on the train could hop on the train. You understand? Everybody needs to hop on. Everybody needs to hop on quick. So, and you don't want to have anything complicating that. So you would find a lot of people that are connected to God in the new world. They saying things, but they're not really telling you everything. It's kind of like encryption. You know what I mean? Like we saying things that would resonate with people, but at the same time, there's a kind of layer of encryption there where you don't want to give away everything. For example, you don't want to give away the ideas and the concepts that God bless you with and stuff like that. You have to be very, very, a lot of you are going to realize you have to be very, 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 very careful about who you tell these concepts to. You understand? Because you have to remember, a lot of y'all will remember, but some of y'all won't. Not everybody out there trying for the will of God to happen. In fact, some would say the majority of people out there do not want God's will to happen. So, if you know that, and if you connect to God, you will know that. So, you can't just be giving your ideas and stuff. You gotta just be talking about those things with everybody, and anybody. But for damn sure, you will know who is real and who is not real. That comes with the territory. You will know. You automatically know. You for sure know. You understand? Yes, you are definitely one that I should be telling this idea to. You will know. It won't have any doubt. And a lot of you all know that. So that's it for today's video. Sometimes I may be like, subscribe, comment. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and Always believe, because there are believers out there who are shining, and they are literally saying they're shining. So you have to always believe. Godspeed.